Damn.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Okay, this is so weird. Anyway, it's Will Wolford with Jason and Keith with Truckers Delight. Welcome back to our skeleton crew, everyone. I missed you
Right.
guys. Like, because, we hold this ship down.
We
Like,
do.
we always do. In between shows. Like, even though we're supposed to be, enjoying Discovery and Lower Decks and Prodigy and all that right now, that's why we're called the Skeleton Crew, because we hold stuff down. That's what we do. So, that said, we're going to go ahead and get this intro out the way. As Marie would say, roll that beautiful bean footage. It never gets old, does it?
No.
It just doesn't. But anyway, so how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Eh,
Yeah,
eh.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Today.
thought we would be doing like a recap of uh SNL.
You mean as Strange New World season 2?
I mean, after that
I'm
musical
sorry,
episode, after
not
that musical
SNL.
episode, it may as well be SNL.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. They need to do a S. Have they done an SNL for Discovery, Picard?
The
I'm
most
sure they
Uh,
did
recent
something.
most recent SNL Star Trek sketch was when Chris Pine hosted, where they did a lost episode of Star Trek where Spock's long lost brother Spocko comes and visits.
I
And,
don't know if I saw that, but
and
it
it
sounds
ends with
familiar.
them singing a jingle for a pizza place. And
That's probably where they
Spocko
got the
keeps on saying,
idea. That's probably where they got the idea.
no. But Spocko keeps on saying, now that's a Star Trek.
But you
My-
ever notice like the all the spoofs, like the what is Saturday Night Live?
Sketches. It's a
Sketch, all the sketches, they're always TOS. It's always TOS every time.
No, they did a TNG when Patrick Stewart hosted, but it was a
Mm.
Well,
next
he
next
hosted.
generation. It was a
And
next generation Love Boat crossover.
didn't they do one with Janeway crossed over with Frasier?
No, that was the Star. That was the Star Trek 30th anniversary special, where they did a live sketch on the stage with Janeway as her, got Kate Mulgrew as herself, and the cast of Frasier as
Mm-hmm.
themselves, but as Starfleet officers. And they
Right.
said
Mm.
that that this was one of the screen tests done before the actors were chosen for Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but they never do it for, and they wouldn't have done anything like that if Kate wasn't on there, and they wouldn't have done the TNG if Picard wasn't on there. Wait,
Yeah.
what's his name? Patrick Stewart
No,
wasn't on there.
no, they did. When
No.
Carrie Mulligan was on a couple years ago, they did one that was kind of mocking newer Trek, and also they did one when Matthew McConaughey was hosting, because Matthew McConaughey played Jeff Bezos doing a Star Trek, mock Star Trek with Jeff Bezos going in his spaceship.
Mm.
So they have done mock.
You watch a lot of SNL.
No, I don't.
I'm jealous.
I actually don't. I just happen to have caught those couple.
He just keeps up.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Well, they need to do so. Well, here's the thing. I guess everybody talks about Star Trek, and it's automatically Kurt for non.
Oh.
I think for non Star Trek people, right? Captain
Well,
Kirk.
what I mean, obviously, it's lowest common denominator. When you talk about Star Wars, what do you think of first? You think of
Luke.
Luke
Luke
and,
Skywalker.
Or Vader.
and Yeah. So you think of the original trilogy. You're
Right.
not thinking Clone Wars. You're not thinking the
Osaka.
prequels. You're not calling the
Mhm.
sequels. So yeah, Ahsoka, which starts in a couple weeks or next
I
week.
mean, yeah, actually. So we do kind of have a show to watch in between.
Yeah, but it's not the right
Mm.
franchise.
It's not no.
You know what? Star Wars is what it is. It's
Mhm.
it's entertaining, but it's the same thing. The entire saga since 1979
So
is
It's a
there's these
family
bad
drama.
there's these bad guys. Oh, it's the Empire again.
yeah,
It's a
There's
family drama.
spaceships. You can't have an episode without spaceships flying around shooting each other or lightsabers. Well, I guess you did in The
well,
Mandalorian, but
well,
like
Andor they were able to do a couple great episodes of Andor without a single lightsaber and without a single spaceship.
I will say that
in the
about Andor.
prison,
I
in the
love
prison.
that.
The prison
I
was
that prison escape scene was done so well.
well
Like the
that
music,
whole episode fantastic.
I cried. I was like, why
Yeah.
am I crying so hard? And then the music just made it work. And that's what happens when you throw Disney in the mix. Like,
But most episodes of Star Wars are just like, oh, here comes the Empire again. Oh,
Yep.
here comes the spaceship.
I
You
don't
know,
know. Maybe they're getting away from that because they're not so much. They're not doing that so much with Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
I mean, you don't really see
Yeah,
that
they
many lightsabers, and if you do, it's all up for what 2 episodes.
Right, but remember who the villain of seasons 2 and 3 of Mandalorian was?
Oh, he's a ripoff of a Jedi.
well, the reason is what
Moff
separates
Gideon.
Star Wars. What separates Star Wars and Star Trek, right? So, Star Trek is science fiction, where Star Wars is science fantasy.
Yes.
There's no science in Star Wars whatsoever. That's why nothing sciencey ever happens. There's nothing that has to be solved.
It's a
like in
space
Star Wars,
opera.
it's like science. There's like time anomalies. They have to fix engines, and here's
Mhm.
Yeah,
particles.
the
and here's
technology looks
technology,
so much
here's
cleaner, much better in the
tachyons,
prequels.
and
Yeah, there's no
Heisenberg
advancement in technology. There's nothing new.
You don't even know how they
Heisenberg
built it.
compentators. They have the same in Star Wars. They have the same crappy holograms, black and white crappy holograms that sort of are staticky
Yeah.
since the beginning. In 40 years, they haven't figured out how to improve these holograms yet, right? And there's no science behind anything in Star Wars.
There's no advancement. I mean,
None.
anytime there is any little advancement,
There
it's
isn't
usually
even
gone.
there isn't even science on the stuff that exists, really.
Right.
Like the light speed. There's no real science. It's just light speed. We're just going fast.
Yeah. Well, the
There's-
ship moves at the speed of plot. I mean, if you need to take a while
At the
before
speed
you
of
get
plot.
to yes,
If it
I
takes
mean-
you 100 parsecs to get there,
yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, not unlike Star Trek 5.
Well, Star Trek, you move at the speed of plot
That
too,
that
but
moved
they
at the speed
least
of plot.
try
real.
to have relevant distances. Yeah.
Mhm.
That wasn't that minus that,
Yeah.
right? That would have been a Star Wars thing. Oh, let's go to the center of the galaxy. That would have been easily plausible in Star Wars. In Star Trek, we all caught it like, I don't need to do the calculation to figure out that ain't right.
Yeah. But yeah, throughout all
What's
the
up?
many hours of shows and movies.
So I have a couple books out, and I call them young adult fantasy novels. And people say, "Oh, you mean science fiction?" I'm like, I do not mean science fiction at all.
Young
Fantasy-
adult fantasy novels and
A
science
fantasy
fiction.
novel. I wrote fantasy novels, and they're
Like-
like, "Oh, like science fiction." I'm like, "No, why are you?"
No, yeah. Would you call Lord of the Rings science fiction?
No,
No, it's
But
Absolutely
people
fantasy.
do that all the
Yeah.
time, and you may find them in
there's
the
nothing
same
sciencey about it.
section.
All right,
At
but
all.
here's the true test. What do you call Frankenstein by Mary Shelley?
Horror.
Horror.
I call it science fiction.
That is science fiction. It
Yes.
can be science. Yes,
It is considered
horror-
the
it's
birth of
horror-
science fiction.
Yeah,
it's horror-based
yeah.
science fiction. It is science.
Technically, yeah, because it's like the lab, the experiment, the everything, the doctor.
It's more science fiction than Star Wars.
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it now because it's just like I thought I considered Star Wars to be like science fiction, but if you really think about it, they don't really explain how about the hyperdrive or light
Nope.
speed or
Lightsabers.
anything, lightsabers, nothing. They don't.
It-
You have a bunch of scenes with a bunch of scientists, but you don't know what the hell they're doing.
You have space wizards.
It's
Yeah,
basically Dungeon. No, it's not even Dungeons and Dragons in space. Star Trek is more Dungeons and
No,
Dragons in
no.
space.
It is Dungeons and Dragons in space
It is.
because
It
because
is.
Star Trek is like a science fiction thing. Is like here's a scientific idea and let's build a story off of that, or let's build something, a machine, a light, a person,
Right.
a robot, a planet. Let's build off of this scientific concept that somebody created. Sometimes these scientific concepts are things that already we have and are real. Sometimes
Right.
there's scientific concepts that people feel like are possible, but we haven't figured it out yet.
Mhm.
Right.
Star Wars is nothing. There's no scientific concept in Star Wars
None.
besides, I would say, light speed. But it's not built off anything.
No, we never get a as like the mission log guys say, teching the tech anytime they're trying to solve
No,
a problem. Like they're if they have a problem to fix, they just do stuff. Sometimes it's just hitting something with a hammer, like we saw frequently happen on the Millennium Falcon. But
has
there's
anyone
no
in Star
understanding.
Trek ever hit anything with a hammer to make it work?
Yes,
It's gotta have happened
Scotty.
before.
Scotty.
yeah,
When did he
it's
do that?
happened, but it's usually been like a
It's gotta have happened. Yeah.
like after tons of other stuff has been done.
Oh, it happened in the Chris Pine movies.
Yeah,
Definitely.
right. But look who made the Chris Pine movies.
J.J. Abrams. I
Who
like. You
then
know
went,
what?
who
I
then
like
went on to make.
Star Wars. I like J.J. Abrams stuff though. I watched Lost, and I watched, except for the last season, everything was good. And I watched Fringe. I was a big fan of Fringe.
Yeah, I like Fringe.
Um, and then it was a couple. I watched Alias, which is J.J. Abrams.
Hmm.
That was good till it got like redundant.
Did
But
you watch Felicity before that?
I did not watch
I watched
Felicity.
I think I did.
There weren't any spaceships in that,
No,
right?
just Carrie Russell.
Right. And there was one that he had that didn't do so well. It was like with a black couple. It's fucked up. I can't remember.
Are you talking about the man that fell from the moon?
No. It was like a black couple, and they were like secret agent spies. Came out like right after. That's what he did right after Lost, I think.
Hmm.
Oh,
It was. I think they were a couple in real. Were they a couple in real life? No, they weren't a couple in real life. They're British. One of the girls is so pretty. I can't remember what her name is. What she was in. Anyway, I was a fan of J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
What's this
Yeah.
episode supposed to be about? We're just talking Trek.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
well, this is kind of what we do. Like,
Well, we haven't had a chance. We had so much discussed with each episode of Strange New Worlds that we never really had chance to do really in-depth news lists or catching up with other stuff that's going on.
well, why
Like-
don't you kind of appraise us on that?
Well, just let's see, quick updates. The Star Trek Legacy with Terry Matalas as showrunner is at 61,652 signatures. The Save Star Trek Prodigy is at 32,465. So we're just short of $35,000, and they're looking to start raising money to do some skywriting over Vegas. I mean, not Vegas, over LA, to try to get the show saved. Kevin,
What are they gonna
the
write?
brothers, the Hageman brothers, did an interview talking about Prodigy after they showed a couple minutes of the first episode of season 2 at Star Trek Las Vegas, in which we see the Voyager A. And all
One
its-
second,
Yeah,
guys.
I did see the clip of the Voyager A.
and essentially they are negotiations are going on at a higher level in Paramount over the future of Prodigy, but they fully expect to have somebody pick up the show before the end of the year. So
Right.
so we could very well be getting Prodigy season 2 just a little bit later than we like, but we're gonna have to watch it on some other service.
I got
Which,
you.
like I had announced a few months back how the Roku channel had picked up Babylon 5, and I started watching it. I had watched it off and on when I was younger, but never really got into it. So I've been binging it. At the beginning of the month, it left the Roku channel and went to Tubi, but it was only on Tubi for 2 weeks. So, like, I was up to season 4, and I watched an episode one night on Tubi, and the next night I was back to the Roku channel because they only had it for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of IP out there that's kind of bouncing around the streaming universe, and
Right.
Prodigy, unfortunately, has just been added to that pile.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hoping for like consistent track for like the next 7 to 10 years, you know.
That was their plan. It's just they lost $1 billion last year. And even though they have over 67 million people now subscribed to Paramount Plus, the cost of production is up. And of course, now we've got the writers and actors strikes that is going to
Even
go up.
more.
Even though Paramount did let it slip that they've actually made money off of not having to pay for production the past few months.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers was the one that really let it slip. They talked about how great this quarter has been as far as their financials. I'm like, yeah, when you don't have to pay anybody for making anything,
Right.
it's just money coming in. So
We gotta do all that again, man. I missed it.
watch the recap later on YouTube.
I do think that Will looks so much better than we do.
Well, that's a given. He's younger than us.
He's got that baby soft skin.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just think I think his lighting's better and all that whatnot.
Well, thank you for the DSLR camera, the filter that's on my face, the filter.
Oh, you got a filter on your face, a digital filter?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Like, look, hold up.
Man, I'm so unimpressed now.
Oh well, shit. So
I'm so unimpressed now.
how do you edit this? Okay, here we go. So go back here, let's go here, and then I just take this off. See?
Oh, okay.
That's not that much different though. That's you know.
There's a difference, but
It's like you can see that, like, I mean, there's like a lot of stuff going on, you know, like,
yeah.
you know.
So that light that's behind you to your right, I would move it like don't do it now, but maybe 10 degrees back around towards the back of you more. Maybe about 10 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees. Just something to think about later. Don't do it now. Yeah, yeah. There you go. That is. There you go.
Okay.
Get that shine off the corner of your face.
Anyway, thank you.
That's for you to that's for you to test out, man. You just test out what you want.
Yeah, it's the autofocus for me. I just want to not the autofocus. The autofocus is fine. I actually want to keep the autofocus. I don't want the iris still going on, like trying to compensate for the light, trying to make me darker than I know this room is. This room is actually pretty bright right now.
What's wrong with being darker?
Everything. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
See that one?
Keith is like, not today. Not today. No, but what other Trek news do we have? I ain't gonna lie to you. I really enjoyed watching that clip and seeing the Voyager A. I thought that was nice.
Wait, what clip?
There was a clip. Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I shared it on the Discord, but there is a clip from Star Trek Las Vegas of 2 minutes of the first episode of season 2 of Prodigy, where the crew all come back together and they get picked up in a shuttlecraft by the Doctor, the emergency medical hologram, Return of Robert Picardo, and he takes them up to the Voyager A, which is under Janeway's command, and will be the ship sent to investigate the wormhole that takes them to Solum 50 years later, where Chakotay is based.
Wait, that's the new season coming up?
Yes.
Yes.
We only had one season of Prodigy?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
They split. It was 20 episodes split in 2 halves.
That's what it was. Okay.
And the second half actually started almost exactly a year after the first half started. So
that's why it felt like 2, because episodes now
they kept breaking it up. Yeah.
Seasons nowadays are only 10 episodes anyway, so now it felt like 2 episodes.
Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers, who are the showrunners for Strange New Worlds, did an interview after Las Vegas, and they talked about this season of Strange New Worlds, and they said they wish they could do more than 10 episodes. And the fact that Discovery got as much as 14 episodes in a season, just that little bit more for Strange New Worlds would be fantastic.
I don't know. Now they're not going to see any Strange New Worlds.
I think if you add more episodes, you have a chance for more Strange New Worlds, more than the 3 that we saw this season.
I know that's my thing, but wouldn't you guys like to see like that? Wouldn't you guys like to see them go down to more strange new worlds and new planets and see what's like and explore? Like
Well,
like how many episodes have they actually explored something? Right? Like season one they did. Season
yeah.
two, how many episodes did they actually explore something?
I mean,
Well,
go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Wayne. I've been talking a lot.
I mean, well, no. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
pull up all the
mean,
episodes.
I mean, we kind of brought this up like I'm sorry I missed last week, but we kind of brought this up the other week, like the time travel crossover episode.
Yeah.
Like that's technically a strange new world. Like,
Yep.
Oh yeah, I get
Yeah.
because the Enterprise did in fact discover that planet and just gave credit to the Orions.
Yeah. Let's
no,
see.
because I don't call it that doesn't count because that's a Star Trek trope, and you always have to have a time travel episode, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta happen. I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. I'm
You're
glad
just
it
are
happened.
you just gonna nitpick every little thing we bring up?
I gave you a strange new world, dude.
Okay, so 10 episodes. First episode, the Broken Circle. They
I'm
go to
going
a
through
planet
it.
that's being divided, that's currently in control by the Klingons. So not really a strange new world, but it's new to us because we haven't seen it before.
Yeah, because we
Okay,
haven't seen it.
thumbs up to that episode.
Yes. Second episode, Ad Astra per Aspera. That was the court martial
Ooh.
episode. We did have a strange new world because you had Pike go to visit the attorney on the planet that was in the nebula where he couldn't breathe the
You
air.
couldn't breathe.
And the
Couldn't
people
breathe.
were genetically altered to live there. Now we only saw it for a brief bit, and so there wasn't any exploration of it, but we did see a little bit of a different world there. Next episode, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Which is
We
what Will
went
was
to
talking about.
mysterious 21st century Toronto.
Okay, that's decent.
Episode 4, Among the Lotus Eaters. That's when they returned to Rigel 7, which was previously
Okay,
seen in
thumbs up.
the cage slash the menagerie. Then, all right, Charades, episode 5. That's when they went back to Vulcan, but they went to the Vulcan moon, where the Kirkanites are. And they were trying to track down the remnants of that alien species.
No, but mixed feelings about the episode because that was just another excuse to give Spock more emotions. They trying to give him as much as they can give him. So I got mixed feelings about that one. Nah.
All right. Then we had episode 6, Lost in Translation, where Uhura was seeing things on the ship, but that was when they were in the nebula because they had the alien species that lived within the stardust there, and they were actually killing these creatures by pulling them into the engines and pulling them into the reactor. So it wasn't a world, but it was definitely some strange new phenomenon that they were looking into there.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got episode 7, Those Old Scientists.
Boiler.
Which, of course, they go to a world where they find this time tunnel.
We enjoyed that because
Yes.
we enjoyed the crossover.
And that is the highest rated episode of the season on Internet Movie Database.
As it should be.
9.1 out of 10. All right, next episode 8, Under the Cloak of War, where we dealt with the Klingon ambassador, but we did go to the world that was from battled during the Klingon War.
You know, I enjoyed that episode.
Yeah.
So
not exactly a strange new world, but we got to see a Starfleet battlefield, which we haven't seen since the siege of AR-1158 from Deep Space Nine, the episode in which Nog lost his leg.
Right.
Then we had Subspace Rhapsody, in which they were studying the air in subspace. So not a strange new world, but they were studying a scientific phenomenon.
Next.
And then finally Hegemony, where they go to Parsinius Beta, which is a human colony outside Federation space that gets attacked by the Gorn.
Okay. Yes, I did enjoy most of these episodes, but I guess to me, what I'm saying is, I guess I'm not seeing what their mission is. Okay. Right. So TOS, their mission was to seek out strange new worlds and new civilizations. They say, hey, look at that planet. Let's go land on it and see who lives there.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything like it. They did that in TNG as well.
I mean,
DS9 was a whole different show, so it does not apply. Voyager, they did that all the time too. But
Yeah.
that's I guess that's what I'm looking for.
One thing that original series did, and was a major knock against original series, was each episode was basically disconnected from all the others. Like, you literally had new characters introduced in an episode, and you never saw them again. Kirk picked up his nephew after Sam was killed, and he said, "You'll live with me here now on the Enterprise." Never saw him again.
Well, this Stranger Worlds is a mix between that and what they've been doing with Discovery and Picard. So those are like just completely linear. It's a one episode split up in the season
Yeah,
split up into
it's
like
a full series arc across the season.
full
Yeah.
series arc. And Stranger Worlds is breaking them up into separate stories with a slight soft arc in between, saying that yeah, we do. This is a separate episode, but we do remember what just happened 2 episodes ago and 5 episodes ago, right? But
Yeah.
it's not about the whole arc.
Which is something they started doing in the Next Generation, because you had Data can suddenly dream in one episode, and then they say a couple episodes later, "Hey, can't you dream now?"
They start doing that in Voyager too,
Well,
and
but
DS, definitely
I know,
DS9.
but TNG came before them. I'm saying it built
Right.
up. Yeah, Deep Space Nine really was the one that explored long-term story arcs by having the Dominion War and various other story threads from beginning to end.
Because everything built off the Dominion War. Everything built off what was coming before it, or else
Absolutely.
what happened before it. Sorry.
Yeah.
With
And
Star
then,
Trek, with times you could say what was coming before it, and it still makes sense.
I mean, Voyager you had the remit of we're lost in the Delta Quadrant, and while they kept to that idea, they lost so many other story threads that should have been explored.
Yes, they did.
Like
They did.
in like the third episode, we only have so many torpedoes left, and then suddenly they have plenty of torpedoes going forward, and they lost at least a dozen shuttles over the course of the series.
I never saw an episode where they said launch torpedoes and they said we don't have any.
Yeah.
That would have been nice to see in Voyager, and in Voyager it would have nice to see damage from one episode to the next.
Yeah, the only
the
time
ship.
Yeah, I was going to say the only time that they kind of did that was going to be an entire season. I think Keith was going to make was the Year of Hail episode.
the only time they did it was the time that they killed Harry Kim. They had the episode where they almost completely destroyed the ship and killed Harry Kim, and then there was that Voyager had been duplicated.
Right,
and
there was a
the ship
duplication.
that was near destroyed that ended up going on with the duplicate Harry Kim and the duplicate baby, and the next week it was still damaged to a degree, not nearly as bad as it was the previous episode.
But what they didn't really do was continue the story that's not Harry.
Right.
That should have been something.
Well, hold on now. They did the same thing with O'Brien too. How many times has a character technically been killed and we just ignored it?
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, but they didn't even he was just Harry.
Well, I mean, technically he was the same Harry. It's just
yes, but he should be saying wow, it's crazy. It's the same place, but it's not the same place. He should be sad. He should be sad because he just lost his entire crew.
Jason, to your point, there is one time where they do openly acknowledge that they're duplicates, but they're not quite real, and that was the 100th episode of Voyager. What was it called?
Dragon.
Operation Oblivion.
Oblivion.
It's just Oblivion.
Oh,
yeah, when they were.
Well, that's when they were there was a planet they went to, which was was
Demon
class, a devil
class.
It was Demon class.
Demon class, where they were duplicated by the metallic substance, and in that episode, which actually did a better job at picking up story beats than regular episodes of Voyager did.
It did.
Yeah, and that was from an episode from a previous season.
Yeah, well. When you realize there are so many story beats that they were building on into season 4 that then they forgot about until season 7, like Tom and B'Elanna.
Yeah,
they had all this buildup of Tom and B'Elanna as a relationship, and then nothing for seasons 5 and 6, and then season 7 suddenly not only that's right, they're a couple, all of a sudden they're married. Like they had them go on the race in the Delta Flyer, and at the end of the episode, they're in the Delta Flyer together, and the back of the ship says "just married."
They didn't get married till season 7.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I forgot the wedding episode, and to
There
your
wasn't a
point,
wedding episode. I
there
mean, it was
was.
just
There wasn't.
no. In Course Oblivion, there was a wedding, but it was the fake Voyager crew.
Which means that
Right.
on the
Right.
real one, some parallel wedding must have happened.
Yeah, it happened. It's just we didn't see it. We saw them doing the race
Mm.
together, saving Harry's life, and then deciding to make their relationship serious. And the next thing you see is them in Delta Flyer with "just married" painted on the back of the ship. So we didn't see them engaged. We didn't see the wedding. It went
No,
from "we're going to be
no,
serious" to "we're
no,
married."
no proposal, nothing.
Yep.
Dang,
Yep.
it's kind of terrible.
Yep.
Wow.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. There are all
yeah,
kinds of little things like that.
I mean, like,
They're like, oh, we
yeah,
just can't fit it in
you
the
win some,
story.
you lose some.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, as I've said before, Ronald D. Moore tried to write for Voyager, and when he kept on pitching episodes about, well, the ship is still damaged from, no, we're moving on from that. He's like, but no, it's damaged. So he just took every story idea he had for Voyager and turned that into Battlestar
I mean,
Galactica.
that would have meant, yeah, that would have been made it so much more dynamic if they had to. I mean, you knew they had to get resources, but you actually didn't see them actually really fight for resources, right? Like
Right.
they've gotten into situations like when they were in the void, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all those ships were, strapped for resources,
Yep.
but Voyager was
I
full of
mean,
resources, so they didn't need
no,
to.
well, in the beginning of one episode, there
Not
was
the,
one when they
not
were
the void,
on.
but
Oh, you're not talking about Voyager, are you?
Yeah,
I'm talking about Voyager. I'm trying to figure the episode. Was it the void? It was a
Yeah,
thing
Well,
where
no,
they
yeah.
went into.
Well, yeah, the Void is a good one too, but I'm talking about there's a particular one where they've been on like low for like 3 weeks straight, and they talk about that, and Neelix had to go to some planet to get some
Like
sort of
season one. That was like
Yeah.
season one.
I don't know about
No,
season one.
that was
No,
earlier on.
That was early on, and that's when they started cooking.
Well, no,
I'm-
that was the Cloud from season one, which is personally my favorite
and
episode of
and
Voyager.
here's the thing
That's the one where there's coffee in that nebula.
thank
Right.
you, but between the Equinox and Voyager, the Equinox didn't have Neelix.
No. Well, the Equinox was a smaller ship, and they tried to get by on their own until they couldn't anymore.
So they couldn't.
But they never got in a fight with the Kazon either.
Nope.
That's true. They kind of sped past the Kazon.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's true.
They're like, we ain't dealing with your nonsense. You're not even close to a Klingon. We'll just go. But
The Kazon have to occupy a lot of space.
And then Kess ran the aeroponics bay, so that's another source of.
and why didn't they already have an aeroponics bay?
Because Voyager wasn't meant for like,
Yeah.
that kind of mission, right?
It's an
Right,
Intrepid
but-
class ship. It's
Yeah,
Intrepid.
it was a short distance science vessel. Yeah.
Right. Now,
when you consider the Cerritos has an aeroponics bay.
Which you also should consider that they wouldn't
Yeah.
actually have named it Voyager if it was an Intrepid class ship. They only named it Voyager because they knew what was going to happen to the ship on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, Voyager, Discovery, all those
Like
things.
the Enterprise would be more better named Voyager because they know they're going out. They're not coming back for a while.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll let you have that.
Well, it's just funny. Like the Defiant was named the Defiant because they were going to call it the Valiant, but they're like, no, you can't call it the Valiant because then the new show is going to be Voyager. So they went with Defiant instead.
So that's
Which
where
one?
they got the Valiant bit from when they switched it over to Defiant when they got the new ship, or was it the?
No, that was the cadet ship that was the Valiant. But that was originally what they were going to name the Defiant. But because Voyager was coming out, they didn't want to have two V ships at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Suddenly, the light is bright like the way I want it, and I hope it stays this way.
Yeah, it's working for you.
Thank you.
I kind of like this before. So never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
So let's talk about the Las Vegas convention.
Do you want to talk about the controversy that came out of Las Vegas convention?
I would love to know because I don't know anything about it right now.
I really need to get with my Las Vegas people in my company and be like, yo, I want to work Las Vegas Star Trek conventions. Was it a Star Trek convention?
Yes, it was Star Trek
Yes.
Las Vegas. They do it every year. This was, I think, the 56th year or something like that.
Damn, Star
No,
Trek been on
it's
that
been a
long?
long time. Yeah, yeah, we're coming up on. Oh yeah, we're 3 years away from the 60th anniversary.
I kind of liked it a little darker because now you're like your browns are white, and I like seeing your brown, nice, brown skin.
Don't worry, it'll make me dark soon.
Okay. But so the main controversy that came out of Las Vegas is because of the SAG-AFTRA strike. You're not actors that are members of the union are not to talk about shows that they have worked on that would be struck if they were in production. So in other words, like very few actors went to Comic-Con because they couldn't talk about
It shows.
their shows or movies. Like when the Oppenheimer premiere happened, the SAG-AFTRA strike started that day. The actors showed up for the premiere, took pictures, and then left. They didn't stick around to watch the movie and answer questions because that would have been against the rules of the strike.
Politics, man.
Sort of.
And not red tape. That's
So
not red tape.
you had actors show up to Star Trek Las Vegas, and they were there to talk, and they were allowed to talk about themselves. They were allowed to talk about projects that were not like there are projects going on now that aren't on strike because individual studios have made deals with the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA. But they couldn't talk about the stuff that they've done. They couldn't bring like publicity stills to sign. If they were to sign anything, somebody had to bring it and present it to them. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have like photos pre-signed ready to go. Well, at one of the talks, Robert Beltran decided to talk openly about his time on Voyager. Now, what he said wasn't particularly alarming, but the fact that he was talking about a production that, under the rules of the strike, he was violating the rules because he was talking about a production that, if it was currently being made, would be struck because of the strike. So then people started harping on him for violating the rules of the strike. So then he was on X, formerly known as Twitter, complaining about what happened to Star Trek fans. Why are they a bunch of whiny babies, essentially? And one person came on commenting, it's all a bunch of whiny liberal snowflakes with their pronouns and their pride flags and their I'm a this sexual. And Beltran responded, yes, that's right, absolutely right. They're not real Star Trek fans.
I did read that.
So he personally didn't say that, LGBT people and all of those are not real Star Trek fans, but he responded positively to someone who basically attacked anyone left of Trump, which is a lot of people, technically.
Don't talk about Lord Trump like that.
So that has caused just basically a ton of backlash to Beltran lately. And yeah, the memes have been fantastic.
I'm sorry. I have to apologize because I made Keith's whole like body go out of equilibrium for like 3 seconds.
I had to live in this city while that guy was president. That was not fun times. But yeah, I saw one meme of them back on the bridge and Janeway sitting and saying, like, it's just like, all in all, a successful mission. But Captain, we forgot Chakotay. All in all, a successful mission.
See, always people, did you like Chakotay? I actually liked Chakotay. I liked him as a first officer. I like this character, and I did see how like in season like 7, he sort of like seemed like he was falling off a little bit. But in all, I liked him.
Oh, he started falling off in season 4 once 7 of 9 came on board, and she started getting the more of the storylines. Yeah, she didn't just take over Kess's part. She was taking from other people as well, and Chakotay really took a step back in a number of episodes.
Well, yeah, because it was all about developing her.
Yeah,
because they realized there was so much to develop. That's not the writer's fault. There was so much there that they could work with.
And plus the ratings were sagging before she came on, and you bring in Jerry Ryan, you bring in this
in
beautiful, talented woman, and a story that is really good.
Maybe they should have tried Kess in a tight suit first and see how
They
that
did.
worked out.
They did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Season 3, some of her final episodes, she was in more tighter clothing with her hair down too. So, but that was
Yeah.
more so that
Oh
she wouldn't
yes, you're
have to
right.
get
She
the
was.
prosthetics. And all
I was
that.
never a big fan of Kess though. Like if she was just kind of like an ant character. Like I could deal with her. If she left, I wouldn't care. And I guess that's how the producers felt. You
Well,
know.
at the end of season 3, they knew someone had to go. They knew they wanted to bring in someone new, and they knew they had to let somebody go. So they were either going to kill off Harry or have Kess leave. So
Well, they did both.
well, they tried. No, well, they tried. They actually ended season 3 with Harry near death in sickbay, being attacked by
Oh, yeah,
A472.
because he was gonna be eaten alive. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kess had made the connection with A472, and her telekinesis abilities had gotten way beyond what Tuvok was able to help her control.
So it was down to those two.
Yes.
So how about this? Why in Star Trek, right? A character like Kess. Can we not just have a character that has superpowers? Right? We just never have them.
Because it
They
takes away
exist.
from. I mean, aside from Q, I mean that kind of takes away from
Q
the
was-
adventure of the story.
Q is too much. I mean a regular person on the ship who can like throw a lightning bolt every once in a while. Like they really
if you
stay
want
away
to,
from that.
if
Well,
you want to do that, let's go. That's Star Wars. Like,
Well, no. That's
No.
fine. I'll give
You
you
can
one.
explain that.
Let's say you have a character who has super strength
okay,
and extreme intelligence as well.
That's supposed to be.
Klingon.
That's supposed to be.
Vulcan.
That's supposed to be
That's
Vulcan.
Vulcans. Yeah.
Yes.
So that they
And we have telepaths and empaths.
yes. The
But
beta voids.
right. So what I'm saying is, Kess's species, or at least her, had some powers that they never really dealt with, and then they never really have anybody.
Remember the evolution episode where the guy he didn't become a god per se, but he kind of like became something that he could heal. He healed an entire ship.
What show?
It was the one where they were being hunted down.
I'm sorry. What series? What
TNG.
Okay.
Yeah, it was TNG.
Yes.
It was the guy. It was the guy in the yellow suit.
Yes. He ended up.
So,
yes.
So he healed an entire ship.
No, what I'm saying is a regular character.
Like a consistent character.
Somebody lives on the ship that has, because they run into those type of people all the time.
Yeah,
they constantly do.
But you're talking about like a series regular.
A regular. I'm like with Kess. They could have developed her into something that was more powerful and just had her be that person. But they didn't.
I mean, Jadzia has 7 lifetimes of memories. Does that count?
And then there's Odo, who could turn into anything.
Yeah, Odo. Hey, Odo. There we go. That's one right there.
But the problem becomes being able to keep doing that from week to week on the budgets they're on.
That's true.
Like originally, before they had Jadzia, they were going to have, remember, Ensign Paslar, the woman who from the planet with low gravity, that had to be in a wheelchair.
In wheelchair when she.
Yeah. She was originally who was going to be the science officer instead of Jadzia Dax.
Oh, really?
But they realized the dynamics of having to have a character who can fly and or could deal with this stuff each episode just wasn't. They felt like there wasn't enough story there, and it would cost too much to keep on doing it. So then they decided to bring in the Trill, and then they realized the Trill makeup that they came up with for Next Generation caused Terry Farrell to break out, to have a negative skin reaction. So that's why they redesigned the Trill makeup.
So just to be clear, you're not saying just the actor that played her. You're saying the actual character with that grew up in low gravity was going to be the science officer.
Yeah, it was going to be the series regular science officer. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that'd be different to deal with every day.
Yeah. So then the Orville actually ended up picking up on that, having their security officer being from a higher gravity world, such that she was a
opposite.
relatively petite-sized woman,
Right.
but extreme strength. And
But look at it this way: Worf, if she got married to Worf, he'd have crushed her.
Mhm.
Right?
Hey, Guinan has the ability to sense things and just know things outside of
Yeah.
time.
Well, that's the Elorian.
You know what? Picard had a really good opportunity to put some insight into Guinan, and they totally just threw it away in the trash.
Yeah.
They
I
gave
could
us they gave us some shit that didn't make any sense, and we don't even care about to think about and talk about. Like, I'm gonna
I'm
write
not gonna
this scandal.
lie.
I'm gonna open this
I
thing,
would have
and
I
I
would
don't
have
even remember
loved
what she did. What she did? Open some aroma or something, and
No,
then
it was a bottle to summon a Q. Yeah.
I would have loved a short trek of Guinan and Q.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
would have loved that.
Bring back young Guinan from.
Yeah.
He was
Like
fantastic.
let's see it.
That
Like,
actress was fantastic.
oh, she was great.
Whoopi
She
Goldberg.
was great.
Oh, you're talking about young guy now.
Young Guinan.
I didn't
Mhm.
feel like she didn't remind me of Guinan.
Well,
Oh, well,
she was definitely
mean-
more jaded than Guinan we know.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of expected them to get the same actress that played as young Guinan in the TNG series, because the same person that, from what I've learned, that played as young Guinan in TNG was the same one who played as young Dolores in Sister Act.
Oh,
so you're talking about the little girl?
Rascals,
The little girl.
episode where
And
they were
Rascal,
turned
that
into
would have been
children.
pretty cool. if
I
they did
was
that.
hoping. Go
I think
ahead.
she might have been too old for it, unfortunately.
Oh, probably. Like, if she could have pulled it off, I was kind of hoping it would be her, so that way it would be like consistent, you know.
I wish Ensign Rowe didn't die and would have lasted some episodes and did some
Well,
badass.
that was her request, though. That was her request. Like, she
Was it?
did not want to do any more Star Trek. She wanted this to be the close of her chapter, completely nothing open ended left. Like,
Yes.
She
But
asked
we
that.
are so fortunate that we got more of her because we didn't know that she was coming. That was a great surprise.
let alone be commander. Like,
Yeah.
I saw her
And I-
command the Pegasus on Battlestar Galactica. That was the shit.
Yeah.
You watch?
Yeah,
you
she
don't
was
watch
great on
Battlestar Galactica, do you, William?
I want to one day.
It's good.
Dude, you gotta
It's
watch
definitely
Battlestar Galactica. It's like one of the best sci-fi series in the past 20 years,
Easily, yeah.
easily.
I'm kind of, should I start with Battlestar Galactica or should I go ahead?
Do
with
not
those?
watch the old series. It's
Do
not
not go to
No.
the 80s. You don't need to go to the show from the 80s.
It starts in
2000.
2006, I believe.
I was talking about Stargate, but okay.
Wait, what?
Stargate's
I was-
okay.
Between Battlestar Galactica or Stargate, which one should I start with?
Well, you can do Battlestar Galactica a lot faster because it's only like five series, five,
Yeah. 5 seasons.
five seasons.
Mhm.
So I like Stargate. I'm a Stargate fan. I've watched all Stargates, and Stargate Universe ended way too fast in my opinion. But
Yeah, it did.
that's a whole different thing. But you could do Battlestar Galactica way faster
Okay.
and bang that out.
Yeah. I watched off and on Stargate, and I saw all of Universe because there was so little of it.
Oh, I've seen all of Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis several times. I like how they mix in SG-1. They mix in the lore of the gods on Earth and everything like that. But it's
Mhm.
like it's like Star Trek in a way. You know, they deal with the same type of issues with like time issues and energy issues and shit like that.
Right.
By the way, the actress that played young Whoopi Goldberg in Star Trek and Sister Act was Isis Carmen Jones, and those two are her only acting roles. So she got completely out of
She's
acting.
done.
after that.
She's okay. She's done. She's done.
Yeah.
I saw that young Picard from Rascals on a fucking Geico commercial clogging upstairs.
Well,
That wasn't that Picard's son? It was,
No,
not
it's-
Picard's son.
wait, young Picard from Next Generation or young Picard from Picard?
From-
I'm talking about
from next-
Patrick Stewart's son, because I know that was his son in the
The Inner Light.
in the Inner Light. But I
No.
want to know, is that the same guy? Like, but younger?
from Rascals TNG, he was in a Geico commercial, and he's clogging upstairs with a bunch of people, like
Okay.
like Holland people. What do
yeah.
you call it? and they're
The
like, we have
ducks.
a clogging problem or something like that.
Oh, what did they call them? Their wooden shoes, the sabot. No, that's it. But that actor also played Rene Picard, Jean-Luc's nephew in Family. At the beginning of season 3.
Oh, the same. I knew he looked familiar.
Hold on, let me figure this out.
See, now I'm trying to be perfectly still because I know as
David
soon as I
Birkin.
move, David Birkin. There we go.
Yeah, this is it right here.
It's
I was like,
So
2 episodes in Next
Picard.
Generation. Les Mis from 1998. Yeah.
I know if I move too much, that the camera's just gonna autofocus and go black again. Like, so I'm trying to be perfect.
Do it. We want to see it happen.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do
I already
it.
did it.
Why don't you just lock in the exposure where it is right now?
I want to, but I can't reach it. See?
Oh.
Like I when I move in to try and lock it in place, it focuses on me as soon as I get close, and then I'm stuck. Like,
this is some quality programming right here from Trekkers Delight.
I'm really experimenting with this. Like,
that's why you can't like focus. It's too far from you for you to focus it on and expose it on yourself.
It's a 15 millimeter lens. Now, if it was like a 16 or 18 to 35, something like that, I'd have pull this thing up and then I reach my hand in and I just do it. But this is a 50 millimeter lens, so I have to be back at least half a foot away from my desk just so it can see me. Like, oh my word. Anyway. Since we got like 8.5 minutes left, there's a Trek, not even a Trek, it's a Comic-Con coming up here in Little Rock, and it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, September 6th through the 8th, I think, or is it the 8th through the 10th? Either way, it's the second weekend in September.
September 10th. Oh no, that's last year's Arkansas Comic-Con.
Last year's. I think it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yes, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
8th, 9th, and 10th. And
at the State House Convention Center.
At the State House Convention Center, William Shatner will be coming. If you know William Shatner, he played as James T. Kirk. Now, understandably,
and Samuel Kirk in one episode.
And Samuel Kirk in one episode with the fake ass mustache. But
that was one fun thing at Vegas. You had two actors coming. You had the two actors who played the Kirk brothers on Strange New Worlds. You had Paul Wesley and Dan Jeanette, and then surprise, here's William Shatner showed up. So the fact you had the current actors playing Jim Kirk and Samuel Kirk, and then you have Shatner who played original Jim Kirk.
It's
and
beautiful.
Sam
it's
Kirk.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
And then you had a panel of Ethan Peck with Zachary Quinto.
Oh,
So
I did see that
Spocks
photo
coming together, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. And it is confirmed that Jonathan Frakes will be coming to this con as well.
Yep.
So
William Shatner, Shamik Moore from Across the Spider-Verse,
yes,
Christina Ricci, Felicia Day, Paul Williams, Jonathan Frakes, Steve Downs, Jim Cummings, a voice actor.
It's a nice little crowd. We got
George Newbern.
Who was that one that voices Naruto?
I'm not sure. Steve Bloom.
What do we got for Star Wars games? I've told you 1,000 times, Will, I would play a virtual reality Star Wars game with you. You don't hit me up. You don't give a brother no love.
You asked me to play a Star Trek virtual reality game. You ain't
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I meant Star Trek.
Yeah. First of all, I remember what you asked me.
Jeez. Just like my girl, she always remembers, and I'm always saying this shit wrong.
Yo, because you come in trying to correct, and then we will remind you what you said.
Hey, Keith met my wife.
Yeah. Well,
y'all met?
Wait.
Yeah, you weren't here last week. I went to Washington, D.C.
I wasn't here last week.
A lot of shit happening. I did a job and hit up Keith, and my niece was going to Howard at the same time, so I had other family there. Keith took me and my wife and my dog around
the White House mainly. That's all we.
The White House, but every building on the way gave us a nice tour of shit we would have no idea. That's a building, I guess. If he didn't tell us what it was. It was really cool. and I appreciated it taking out the time to do that. It was a hot day. We were just walking around. We talked, met some of my family, and
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I do feel bad that I left you when you did because it really started raining badly not long after I left you, and I was safe at home by the time that happened. But yeah,
it was fine. I think we went to the Martin Luther King and the Lincoln Memorial, and then we were going home, and it started raining like right when we got into the not home to the hotel. It started raining as soon as we got in the Uber, so we were cool,
oh,
man.
okay. Oh, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, because I know when we were walking past the Commerce Department coming back to meet your family at African American, and I just felt like we sat down on the bench and like the wind changed. I remember saying to your fiance that the wind smelled different. I was like, it's going to rain soon. And I looked at the
Yep.
weather app and it said it wasn't going to be until like 9 o'clock, and that was a lie. It was an hour later. It was raining.
And there was tornadoes around there. Was that
Yep.
day or the next day?
Oh, that was the next day. The Monday we had the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some weird weather here in DC because last Monday I was all set. I got to work super early so I could do an extended day for overtime, and I ended up leaving 20 minutes before my regular work time because the tornado was about to hit. Then this week, my oldest is in Smithsonian camp this week, and I go to pick her up every day at 4:30, and on Monday, a severe thunderstorm hit at the exact moment I went to pick her up at Smithsonian camp.
Wow.
So we had to go from go pick her up from camp, run through the rain to the metro, get to my work at the library, get inside. We were just completely soaked getting inside. And then the next day it happened again, except it wasn't severe thunderstorm. It was just a light rain. And they're like, really? 2 days in a row at the exact same
Hey, at
time?
least we didn't have what they had in Hawaii. They had a hurricane
Oh,
fire. They
yes.
had some. They had some
Yeah.
Gandalf shit going on over there.
Yeah. My heart goes out to the people in Maui.
I don't even know how I would. Like I was always. I've been in a couple fires, and I always felt like I did well. And I used to be like, man, I could be a fireman or whatever. That shit that they went through, I would have no idea what to do with my peoples.
Well, the smart people were the ones that realized just run out into the ocean.
Yeah, but everybody couldn't get to the ocean.
Yeah. But I mean, but the ones that were close to the ocean just run out into it as a good way to get away from it. But yeah, they didn't have fire department really that could cover it. They didn't have the
That's not a fire
infrastructure.
department thing.
Yeah.
Fire department can't do anything in that situation. It was literally a hurricane with fire.
Mhm.
Like it's literally some Diablo fucking wizard shit that you would,
I think what you're trying to say is, I think what you're trying to say is Sharknado.
No, it's a
fire
It's a
NATO.
firestorm.
80 miles per hour fire wind. That's what they had. Fire coming at them at 80 miles an hour. And I don't know how I wouldn't know how to deal with that. I can swim. Everybody can swim,
Yeah.
but like man, that's some crazy shit. And heart goes out, man, to all those people.
Yeah, over at least 99 people killed last I saw.
It's over 100 now.
Oh, it's
99.
over
It's
100
over
now.
100 and over 1,000 missing.
You know, and just the scale of the destruction is, it looks like a bomb went off.
And every time they find them, they're ash. So
Damn.
it's like
I mean, you hear about something like that, you're going to think, oh, did the volcano erupt?
a
Because
volcano would have been better.
yeah, it wouldn't have been as destructive. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, on that note,
Yes. Yeah. Since we're down to a minute left, thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
sum up. Who's gonna sum up in the title what this episode was about?
Well,
I just said a recap and some Trek news. We did that. Like
Trek news, Trek stuff, Trek talk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
and
it's the skeleton crew.
you brought up a topic 2 weeks ago, and I said we can talk about it when we're out of shows. So, but we can talk about it next week.
What topic is
Aliens
that?
on Earth.
Oh yeah, I brought that up. Yeah, we should talk about that.
Okay, so let's talk about that next week, as well as other Trek related news. Leave your thoughts in the comments below of what we should be talking about, because we got a couple weeks until Lower Decks comes back with season 4.
We got time.
Yep, that's September 7th. This is the 17th, so we got 2 weeks from now the 24th and the 31st. Let us know what you want to hear. We'll do what we can. Like,
and
share,
don't forget. Yeah, I'm sorry. You were gonna say it. I was gonna say if you like William Wofford and all he has to say, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to hear him for the rest of your life.
Yeah, check out Will West Alpha.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. At first, I can't believe you remember that name, but then I was like, yeah, I do say it in Discord. Yeah, it's true. But hey, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna tell Jonathan Frakes. I said, you may not see me soon, but you're gonna see me on you gonna see me on
get him on
Star Trek
video. We
Legacy.
can get him on video.
That's what I was gonna say. I said, yo, tell me what I gotta do to get you on our podcast. Like, I'll save up.
Probably get like 100,000 subscribers.
Well, or pay for his cameo fee.
Or pay,
Right.
yeah, or pay for his cameo fee. Like, that's a thing. I will say this: like, to take a picture with him, he's only charging $60. Like,
Not bad.
whereas to get a picture with William Shatner, he's charging $175.
That sounds about right for Shatner.
I met William Shatner 3 years ago. It was actually the last show I did before the pandemic, and he was talking about one of these episodes with the half black, half white things.
Let that be your last battlefield.
And when he came backstage, I was gonna tell him something, but I was like, I don't want to be that guy, and I didn't tell him. And I was just like,
what were you gonna tell him?
I was gonna say the biggest thing with that species of people is that when they look in the mirror, they see the enemy. He has never spoken about that aspect of that character. You know what I mean? And imagine if every time you look in the mirror, what you see is the enemy. That's got to be psychologically fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, watch. I'm gonna go dark now.
Blank. Oh, that's what you're doing.
Okay.
No, you're not going dark. The background.
All right, we'll see you next week. Make sure you like, share, comment below. Let us know what you want to do, what you want us to do. And hey, if you want to be part of the show, you're more than welcome to join us. Find us on Facebook, Discord, YouTube, everywhere.
Laters.
Peace.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say it on the internet. Yeah, never. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait. There was a shadow of a church.
Okay. What?
William has questionable ideas about what he puts. William has questionable ideas about what he puts on the internet.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Uh-huh.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Wait. What?
We put out an audio version of this podcast.
What the fuck is going on?
See, that's why I didn't even press the end broadcast, because I knew this was gonna be some shit.
Is that a mask or a filter?
That's a fucking mask. That's a mask. Like, what the hell is going on here? Y'all, I'm not even 30 yet, and I'm getting too old for this shit.
Do Forrest Gump. I'm just kidding. That's some crazy shit.
To the one person that is still watching, this is Trekker's Delight. Thank you and good night.
Hey, oh, we are on?